Good morning to all my dear students. I hope that you all are doing well, regularly attending the online video lessons and completing your assignments. I'm also replying to your comments to clear your doubts. So, if you need more clarification on any topic, do comment here. In the last class, we have started with lesson 2 in chemistry. Is matter around us pure? We started with the study of pure substances, a sample of matter that contains only one kind of matter. Pure substances have fixed composition, cannot be separated into simpler substances by physical methods or physical changes, can only be changed in identity and properties by chemical methods or chemical reactions, and the properties do not vary. These pure substances do have definite melting and boiling points. These are also homogeneous in nature. There are two types of pure substances we had discussed in our last video lesson. The first, elements. Substances which cannot be broken down into simpler substances are elements. The second type of pure substance which can be broken down into simpler substances only by means of chemical methods is a compound. All the pure substances, also impure substances of the universe, are either elements, compounds formed from elements, or mixtures of elements and compounds. When we consider elements, all the known elements are divided into metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. In the last video lesson, we also discussed the characteristics of metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. When we see these pictures, first shows the various cleaning substances of our home. The second picture shows the various sources of acids of our daily life. What are these? These are compounds. Compounds, which is also a pure substance formed by chemical combination of two or more elements in a definite proportion by mass. Compounds, which are pure substances that are composed of multiple types of elements, two or more, chemically bonded to one another. Compounds cannot be broken down by physical methods, but they can be broken down by chemical reactions. An example of a substance is given here, which is a compound formed of two atoms of hydrogen and an atom of oxygen. Yes, the compound is water molecule. Some common chemical compounds have shown here. Water, H2O. Ammonia gas, NH3. Carbon dioxide, CO2. Hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. These compounds are formed of elements reacting each other. The proportion of elements in compounds are the same, irrespective of how the compounds are formed. The composition of a pure compound is always the same. If water is decomposed, then there will be always twice as much as hydrogen gas formed as oxygen gas. Water exists as three different states: solid, ice; liquid, water; gas, water vapor. The composition of pure water is always the same whether it is ice, water, or water vapor. Compounds also do have specific recipes or chemical formulae that tell what elements are found in them and how many of each element is present. As we discuss water, water is made up of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Hence, its chemical formula is H2O. Carbon dioxide is made up of 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms. Hence, its chemical formula is CO2. A compound is formed from 2 or more different elements chemically joined in a fixed ratio. Compounds have different properties from the elements they are made from. Let us take another example where sodium and chlorine react in a chemical change or chemical reaction to form a new substance, salt sodium chloride. The 2 elements, sodium, a metal, chlorine, a non-metal, combine to give a compound, sodium chloride, represented by NaCl. This shows that the particular compound has an atom of sodium and an atom of chlorine. Some other examples of compounds are ammonium chloride. The constituents are hydrogen element, nitrogen, and chlorine. It is used in as dry batteries. The second example is sugar. Formula or the representation is C12H22O11. The constituents elements are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The third one we had discussed, sodium and chlorine, the constituent elements forming common salt or table salt, sodium chloride. And the fourth one, water, having constituent elements hydrogen and oxygen respectively. These compounds are also used in our daily life. A few examples are mentioned here, like for example the soaps. These are esters used for bathing and washing clothes. Detergents, compound sodium sulfate used for washing clothes. Toothpaste, calcium carbonate used for cleaning teeth while brushing. Mouthwash, hydrogen peroxide used for personal hygiene. Sugar, sucrose used in cooking as sweetener. Salt, sodium chloride used in seasoning for cooking, also used as preservative. The elements are not easily separated by physical means, and when they combine, these form the compound having properties quite different from the element it is formed from. The systematic representation of compounds is chemical formulae. Chemical formula shows the chemical composition of the substance, number of atoms of each element present in the compound. The formula of a compound summarizes the whole number atomic ratio of what it is made up of. Example, methane gas, which is represented by CH4, where one carbon atom and four hydrogen atoms are present. Though both compounds and elements are pure substances, these also have differences between them or differ from each other. We now will discuss the differences between compounds and elements. A compound contains atoms of different elements chemically combined together in fixed ratio, whereas an element is a pure substance made up of same type of atom. A compound is represented using a formula, whereas an element is represented using symbols. The list of compounds is endless. Some exist as in solid state, some as liquid in state, some are gaseous in state, some as acids, some are as alkali or bases, some are salts. Whereas elements are about 117, that have been observed and are classified as metals, non-metals, and metalloids. So, today we discuss the characteristics of compounds, formation of compound as homogeneous substance, which cannot be separated by mechanical or physical methods, the properties which are the physical chemical properties of a compound are totally different from those of the combining elements and also do possess fixed melting boiling points. In our next class, we'll discuss with the impure substances.